Hey guys, welcome to another Fischer Builds. I'm Bobby Fischer, and today we're going to cover Pink Ranger cosplay. I've already covered my White Ranger costume, helmet, and suit. Today I'm going to cover my daughter's cosplay. It's for a child, but it can apply to any cosplayer. There's a couple, thought process that I laid out that would help with any cosplayer as far as convenience and just, ease of use when moving around and walking around for a long period of time. So let's check out this costume. So we'll work our way from the ground up, just like I did in the other videos. For the boots, all I did was create a couple of cuffs and got her a couple white sneakers. People do use white cosplay boots, and in order to get a diamond shape going around the calf, it really is just 4 diamonds going around your calf, and you just have to measure them out equally for the circumference of the boot neck, and you'll have the diamond shape. This is painted on with pink Angelus leather paint, so it's flexible. It's not acrylic or enamel where it'll crack. It's nice. It's almost like a rubber, and that's painted right onto marine white vinyl. I did use a zipper so that you could put them on after your shoes are on, and you just clasp them together, zip them down, because I didn't want to put the zipper at the top, because in case she's moving around, the zipper could work itself down. It's much more difficult to work a zipper upward. So just with gravity, that kind of keeps it down and secure. So those are for the ankles and the calves. It's really just a truncated cone. You can look up, there's links, I'll put one in the description, where you can put in your measurements of the upper and lower circumference that you want, and it'll create this for you, and you can actually just print it out and then use that as a template for these. From the boots, that brings us to the pants. All of the male Power Ranger cosplayers have a single unitard, like a dance, coverall. The Pink Ranger has a skirt, so you can actually take advantage of that and use pants underneath the skirt. Some people actually have a unitard with a skirt that attaches at the belt. I think this is a better idea, and this is one of those things that I had to think about. In order to use the facilities, to go to the bathroom, having pants is invaluable. You're able to just lift the skirt, like any woman would, go to the bathroom, change, do whatever, and it's very easily accessible. These pants, there's a zipper up the back to enclose it, a little elastic in the waist, as well as stirrups on the ankles to keep the pants down. When you have booted, tucked in pants, it's always good to have stirrups so they don't climb up on you. These will catch on your heel, and they'll stay down and they stay flat where the pants meet the boots. Moving upward, we have the shirt. And I'll post a link below where I got this from. I actually asked them to make it in 2 separate pieces so that the skirt would just be a continuation of the shirt, and then the belt will go on the shirt and it'll look seamless, just like in the show. This is just a zipper 3/4 of the way down the back, so you step into it. And then on the wrist, there's zippers as well, so it's a nice tight fit, but it's easy to get on and off with just a zipper, but it has a nice tight cuff on the wrist. There is a clip, almost like a bra hook and latch to close it, just to keep it closed. And then the pink is a solid piece with the white sewn on, if you were curious. Some people try to sew it together with it's sewn on top of the pink. It actually gives it some 3-dimension on the front and back. The belt that goes on top of the shirt, I had to scale it down. The typical Power Ranger belt is a 2-inch white leather belt. Again, we're using more of the marine vinyl for the boot tops and the wrist cuffs. I just created a belt, folded it over so you wouldn't see an edge, and then sewed a seam just so it has almost a little bit of detail. But this is only 1 3/4 inches versus 2 inches, just scaled down. The buckle I got off of a maker from Etsy, and I'll post that link below. It becomes pretty rough. You just have to paint it. The sticker is on it and the coin is gold. I just had to paint the black portions. And then for the closure, I did use a 2-inch parachute clip, and then I left it a little bit long just in case she grows and we can keep playing with it. If it's for you and you're an adult, you're not going to grow much and very much, so you can actually attach this by sewing it or gluing, pinning, or using snap clips to make it adjustable. And then the wrist cuffs, for adult cosplayers, you may want to get a 3/4 inch length glove. Kakuzan is the official kind of end-all be-all glove, but a lot of people, I think it's $100 and something for those gloves. You can make your own, you can adapt different gloves to fit the same look. For a 6-year-old, didn't really need something like that, so I made the wrist cuffs out of the marine vinyl, added the 4 pink diamonds going around, and I just sewed these shut inside out, because their wrist and hand, it can collapse to the same size, and she can slip her hand right through and keep these on. Slightly wider at the top just to give it some dimension, like it's a glove cuff. And then she was wearing just white dress gloves that I got off Amazon. And then for the connection from the suit to the helmet, you want a white collar. They call it a sperm cap. It's just a skull cap with elastic straps. These go down under the arms, kind of here, and then the head goes up and over. Face is exposed, but the neck is covered. And it does have some sweat wicking. She was fine, she didn't sweat that much at all. But just a skull cap so that you have no skin showing whatsoever. And there's lots of people that can do tutorials on this, or you could buy these from different makers. Another part everybody loves, the helmets. I got this as a kit. It was a solid fiberglass resin cast. It's from a pretty popular maker. A lot of people buy kits from them. I had a relatively hard time, and it was not a easy build, so I'm not gonna credit that at all. It was a lot more work to get it right and get it usable than to just move on with production. So there's more taking 5 steps back in order to move forward. But a lot of Bondo, a lot of spot filling, a lot of dents. There was some warping, and I basically had to resculpt it back to its original shape. Once I had everything done as you go with a typical kit or a resin cast, you're gonna spot fill with, I use Bondo glazing putty. I wasn't at the time very comfortable with true Bondo, the 2-part mix, so I bought the pre-mixed Bondo glazing putty. It's thinner, but it's air drying. It's not a chemical reaction like true Bondo. So you put it on, spot with your finger, wear gloves, it does stain your skin, and just do each spot that you can visibly see. And then once you get that, you sand it down, make it smooth. I've said in my other videos, use your senses. You may not be able to see it, but you might be able to feel an imperfection. Use your senses and feel so that you can say, oh wait, there's a dent there. What? You don't see it, but hey, there's something there. You fix it. Once you pretty much can't see or feel anything, then you prime the whole thing, and it reveals a whole new batch of things you need to fix and scratches or anything like that. A couple rounds of that, Bondo, sand, prime. Once you're happy with it, then you start to paint. Primed the whole thing white, and then masked off all of the white areas that were remaining white, and then did the pink. I did stick with the Angelus pink leather paint just so it was consistent. You have that coherence between the two. The pink that matches, it's more of a metallic material. It was just way too kind of off the charts bright, and it didn't match the glove. So I went with this, and it turned out great. I love it. And used green nail polish to do the eyes. I couldn't find a green that I liked, and just started rummaging through my daughter's little makeup kit, and I found a green that matches the show almost identical. The mesh I've used on my mask, it was actually made for this one, is the yarn mesh. It's a obscuring visor, but it's holes. It's easy to breathe, it's safe. I can hear her and she can hear me when I talk through mine because I use the same material. But it's very easy to breathe. There isn't any steam up. There's no fogging or anything like a typical cosplay visor. For a long period of time, I would recommend this. I do have a helmet with a solid visor on it, and to tell you the truth, I can't wear it for more than about 30 seconds. A, it's claustrophobic. B, it is very, very difficult to breathe. For photos, it looks magnificent, but for walking around a con, I do not recommend it at all. The silver, I taped off around the edge of the mouth, and then I hand painted the silver. Everything else was either spray paint or a HVLP sprayer, just to get a nice even coat. That's not a necessity, it's just pay attention to your brush strokes if you're gonna put it on with a foam brush. I don't recommend bristle brushes because they will leave lines no matter what you do. but a foam brush you could get a little bit even with Angelus paint. If you put it on a little bit thicker, it hides any brush marks. This was sprayed on, so it is a nice even coat. And then once that was completely dry, I want to say about 2 weeks later, I covered the whole thing in a clear coat, and that really set it off. That shine, it looks better than my helmet. I did not do a clear coat on my White Ranger helmet, and I love this finish so much more. Inside, I do have the clasp just like the show, but to fit to a child, we added lots and lots of foam. Cut them in squares and kind of think of where's the gap. I put the top in on the top of the skull first, and then closed it around her face, and then put my hand in to see where are the air gaps. And for adults too, you can do that just for a more, comfortable fit and a more snug fit. You can get your cheekbones, these are concavities where air is going to sit. You don't want your helmet moving around, possibly damaging it, hurting you, or breaking because it's so much movement. And then I do have, kind of my signature keys as it closes. Those grab, keeps everything aligned. And that's my Pink Ranger helmet. Hope you guys enjoyed the Pink Ranger cosplay. For child or adults, it's a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun to do the work. Anything you guys can think of that I didn't cover, if you have questions, please feel free to comment below. And I'll keep doing stuff like this until she doesn't want to anymore. So you'll see a lot more cosplays with me and my kids for a long time to come, I hope. Have a good one. Thanks for watching.